For animal reproduction, there will be a lot of emphasis on human physiology as it relates to animal reproduction. There will be discussion of other organisms, but you will find that the density of human discussion is definitely much more than the others. Now, in thinking about animal reproduction, there will be opportunities to consider hormones, which means we can think about the endocrine system, movement through vasculature, so we can think about cardiovascular system. There are lots of connections that can be made, and when you can make them, I would definitely encourage you to do so. Also, when it comes to any discussion about reproductive system, when it comes to humans, in general, we're very much in the mindset of an individual that has a uterus versus an individual that does not. That's not the phrasing that the textbook has. We're just going to utilize how it is relayed within the Campbell figures, but do keep that in mind as you progress through this content. Concept 46.1, both asexual and sexual reproduction occur in the animal kingdom. When it comes to sexual reproduction, this is going to occur in the vast majority of animal species. And when it comes to sexual reproduction, by definition, it's the production of offspring by fusing two gametes together in order to form a zygote. When it comes to their ploidy, gametes, meaning a sperm and an egg, will be haploid, and their fusion or that fertilization event yields a diploid zygote. So each haploid is going to contribute its set of chromosomes in order to produce that zygote or that fertilized egg. And as the zygote goes through processes like cell division and cell differentiation, it becomes an embryo. When it comes to asexual reproduction, this is still generating offspring, but there is not any fusion of egg and sperm taking place. And when it comes to asexual reproduction, it can occur in invertebrates and in a small amount of vertebrate species. We'll focus primarily on budding because that's the example that I've included within the voice thread, but there are essentially three ways in which asexual reproduction can take place. That's budding, regeneration, and parthenogenesis. Now, when it comes to the process of budding, which we'll see within the video, this is going to still yield a completely new individual. So there's still going to be the idea of cell division and cell differentiation as is seen in sexual reproduction, but the mechanism by which it takes place is not quite the same. So when thinking about asexual and sexual reproduction, the goal here is to think about what is by definition occurring in order to generate that offspring. Organisms that go through this process, again, we're focusing on humans when it comes to sexual reproduction. We'll go through an example of asexual reproduction as well. And then also to think about from an evolutionary standpoint, why are we seeing sexual reproduction taking place over asexual reproduction in certain organisms? What are the advantages and disadvantages of both of these means of producing offspring? Now, it's important to keep in mind the Campbell phrasing for these notes here when it comes to mechanisms of asexual reproduction, because it says that budding is a simple form of asexual reproduction found only among invertebrates, but that does not mean that asexual reproduction as a whole only takes place within invertebrates. There's a small number of vertebrates that can utilize asexual reproduction. So it's important to understand what's being conveyed by your book through these bullet points. When it comes to asexual reproduction, it's the ability to generate a new individual, and that's going to be based on an existing one. So that parent is providing the information that yields that offspring. There's also the process of fission, which is the separation of a parent into two or more individuals of about the same size. And that's something that we have seen in earlier discussions within bacteria, although there was not much emphasis placed on the process taking place. But we have seen some illustrations that show the idea of fission taking place within lower level organisms. So that is a form of asexual reproduction. Here we have a video that will go through asexual reproduction in the hydra. And the hydra is a type of cnidarian with respect to phylum. So it means that they will have the ability to kind of utilize stinging types structures within their tentacles in order to trap their prey. And this won't be essential right now, but it's something that we'll probably bring up with our topic related to neurons and the nervous system. So when it comes to the hydra, here would be the foot of the hydra. Here is the mouth of the hydra. And you can see right here is going to be a protrusion from the parent, and that's going to be a budding area. So that can give rise to an entirely new hydra. So when it takes this process into account, there is still going to be mitotic division and differentiation that's going to occur in order to be able to generate that new individual. And that new individual can become an independent organism, so it can separate from the parent, or it can remain attached to the parent, in which case it's referred to as a colony. And there are other forms of asexual reproduction that are covered within the Campbell book, but we're just going to focus on this particular example as far as our emphasis goes. And when it comes to the idea of the parent organism being able to give rise to these buds, it can be more than one, even though only one will be shown within the video. But they can happen in multiples and they can happen simultaneously. And the process of budding can take place throughout the duration of the hydra's lifetime. So we'll play that video. You'll get a sense of where that new growing hydra will be within the short frames. So just different angles of your budding hydra. And you can see it extending and growing within the video as well.